The extreme heat in California is making the job of firefighters that much harder. The West Coast has broken several records this holiday weekend, and the danger is not over yet. For more, let's bring in CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Berardelli. Jeff, record heat has been fueling these western wildfires all weekend. You say there is a cold front moving in, but that it could actually make things worse. Why is that?
Because the wind's going to blow, and it's going to blow strong, maybe 40, 50, 60 mile an hour wind gusts on top of extremely dry conditions, extremely hot air. So, one coming on the heels of the other. This is kind of a worst case scenario for California. First, I want to show you just how unprecedented the heat has been. Take a look at these temperatures. Chino, 121, Woodland Hills, 121. The hottest it has ever been in this area. Even Catalina Island got to 110 degrees, surrounded by very cool Pacific waters. Almost unheard of. And look at this. San Luis Obispo, 5 degrees above their all-time record high. So this is extraordinary heat, the hottest it's been in modern times. Let's put it that way. 40 record highs are possible today across the west. Look at that, 115 possible in Sacramento. But here comes that cold front. It will cool it down, but it's going to drive extraordinary winds into the west, especially into Oregon and into California. And once those winds get into the nooks, the crannies, inside the valleys, they bob, they weave, and they increase in speed to 50 miles an hour, at times 60 mile an hour wind gusts. Now, the wind is going to be coming from the north, so that smoke is going to be blowing towards the south. If it weren't blowing towards the south, some places may have escaped some of the smoke, but now it's going to be moving into areas that haven't been dealing with the smoke for the past couple of days. So this is going to be a really tough situation for folks that have breathing concerns, but especially for firefighters who have to try to keep these fires under control. And I'm afraid that some of them will burn out of control.
And let's talk a little bit more about that cold front. We know that it's bringing a massive temperature swing in places like Colorado. The Rockies are expecting early snow. So what is causing that?
Right, so we have this really strong cold front right there in the jet stream, which is, making its way through Montana right now. And it's extraordinary. I mean, it is going to just drive what is wintertime cold air straight into the Rockies. So temperatures are going to drop from about 95 today in Colorado to the mid-30s tomorrow and to the 20s by Wednesday morning. And on top of that, a storm is going to form right about here, and it's just going to throw moisture up against the Rockies. And that means over a foot of snow in places. We're going to see probably about 50 record highs over the next 50 record lows over the next few days once the cold air really sets in. And look at all this snow right up and down the Rockies. So that's a foot, foot and a half in places. Lower elevations, even Denver may see a few inches of snow. It's not quite unprecedented, but it's extraordinarily rare. We did have 4 inches of snow back in 1961, early in September, so we may do that again in Denver. But this really is just dramatic to see these shifts. The jet stream is just so amplified right now across the whole northern hemisphere. It really is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, snow in September just sounds strange to me. Do you think that homes and power lines can handle this type of extreme temperature change?
It's a really good question. Power lines, have a hard time. So they shut off power a lot of times ahead of time before these, disasters happen. But, the bottom line is parts of California are going to be uninhabitable soon. I mean, people are not going to want to have to live in places where they can't get insurance for their homes anymore, or they have to worry about evacuating 2 or 3 times a year. At some point, people are just going to leave.
I mean, that is a scary thought. It's Labor Day weekend. We know that a lot of people are going to be heading to the beach in other parts of the country, or perhaps in California, where they're trying to get some respite from this massive temperature, these triple-digit temperatures. Do you just give us an overview of the weather in the rest of the country, Jeff?
Yeah, it's looking better in the east, that's for sure. So it's hot in the west, and we talked about that. But in the east, really, really beautiful conditions. Very nice. Places like Boston, 81 degrees during the day today, 85 New York City. Even Atlanta, not bad, at right around 88 degrees.
All right, and keeping an eye on the tropics, there's a storm that could impact the Carolinas by the end of the week, and that's not the only system that you're watching, right?
It's about to get really active. It's already getting very active. First, we'll talk about the one that may impact the Carolinas. 30% chance of development. There's the X right there. Not very developed right now, but we'll have to watch to see what happens towards the end of the week with that. Shouldn't really be a very strong storm if it does impact the Carolinas or Florida. And then we have a tropical storm Paulette that just formed a few minutes ago. That is a tropical storm, will become a hurricane. And then right behind it, Tropical Depression 18. Both of them are moving into the tropical Atlantic.
All right, Jeff Berardelli, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.